you get to be just as surprised as our audience.
I can't wait.
Do, 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 do. Oh, my non-singing voice this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It'll probably be afternoon by the time this is up, but good morning. Oh my gosh, before I take this off, do y'all see this? I'll hold it up once I take it off. Liz made me a mask out of leftovers of, I can't talk and untie.
What?
Out of leftovers of a dress she made with really cute fabric she got. What?
It's cut out, but I haven't sewn it together.
I assumed it was made because these happened.
No, those happened because they were faster to sew than the dress.
Well, I could have sworn I've seen her wearing the dress.
I have a red one, and
I know you have
two.
other, like, it's fabric of sheep knitting, basically. Like,
I have a red one.
look at that. And look, it's sheep, it's
And
knitted
black.
fabric and sheep knitting, and the sheep are knitting like this.
It's so
because that's how you knit, right?
they're like, I call them my anime sheep because they look kind of little anime.
They're little ninja warriors knitting.
Yeah.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today? Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion at Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard.
Yes. And it's our Monday.
So Monday.
So Monday. And we were just, we talked yesterday. So, dry cough. Not COVID. Anyway, at least not that we know of yet. Everyone's going to panic at home. Oh my gosh. How long have I had this cough?
She's had this cough pre-pandemic.
I affectionately call it yarn lung. I think I've referred to it as that in previous videos. One of my knitters turned me on to this thing from Gaia called Bronchial Wellness, and I'm trying it. It's like elderberry and lots of little stuff that might help, but I think I inhale as much fiber from a yarn shop as I do, and oh well. So I love what I do. So yeah. I lost track of where I was. Monday. Stick with me, people. That's making me squirrel again because it's reminding me of when Jan from the UK, when we were like, what is Liz working on? And she said, I screamed at the screen of Papillon. And I'm like, yeah, you know us. So Monday was my proverbial day off back in normal times. And let's be honest. I mean, it wasn't really a day off even then. You were saying that, Liz.
Yeah, it never really was.
As a shop owner, as a small business owner, the idea, you never have a day off. You might take a little time off during a day, but Monday was the day when the shop wouldn't be open. Like in the depths of summer as we are now, even though it still feels like frozen March, but hot. In the depths of summer, we would be open 6 days a week, half day on only afternoons on Sunday. But Monday was the only day that we were ever always closed. Didn't mean it was really a day when I didn't do anything, but we were closed. So yesterday was just a really super busy day for me. It's become busier since the pandemic, oddly enough. But we're only here 2 days a week.
I know. I've been trying to force her to at least take Saturday or parts of Saturday off.
Yes, now that Saturday is not Saturday, pre-pandemic,
but
Saturday was our super busy day. Saturday was like, I had 3 classes and sometimes they were completely full, and Liz would be trying to manage summer traffic by herself.
Occasionally I'd have a minion, which was great.
Yeah, like a mignonette.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we did have a summer intern last summer who helped us out a little bit. So who eased the burden, right? But shout out to Elizabeth. But there would be days when I'd look up after my 4 o'clock lesson and be like, we had customers? What?
And I'm like,
Liz would be like,
oh
I
my
have fingers.
gosh.
I have fingers for you.
It was like Vikings.
And we'd be
and
like,
you didn't see them coming.
yeah, and I'd shut down the shop for the day and I'd go, how do we do that for sales? Holy crap.
Hey, where have you been?
And Liz would just go, really? Yeah. But now it's different. Now we're starting to get summer traffic again in town. So we are home on the weekends. And as inconvenient as that might be for some people, it's a safety thing. But, you know, long story long, that means that Saturdays are maybe one of the very few days that if she reminds me enough, I might be able to rest. So
what did you do Monday?
Let's see. Let's run through my Monday real quick. I got up.
Well,
usually when I get up and I watch the news, and when the news is over, I film a video, one of our tips and tricks videos. I didn't have any clean shirts. My lovely clean shirts. So I had to do laundry. So while I was doing laundry, I started the newsletter and started doing some computer work of filling in gaps and placing orders, and do a little bit of knitting I can show you all in a minute. I unpinned my audition shawl, which I pinned out, I blocked this weekend. And then I did the prep work I needed to do for my seaming video. I needed to make 2 samples of stockinette of all these on one side so I could sew them together during the video. Then my laundry all finished, yay, so I filmed my video. And then I had to edit my video and grab a quick bite of lunch because I was filming late because of the whole no clean laundry situation. And while I was doing that, I was soaking my Papillon shawl that I finished, I don't even know how long ago. My second Papillon.
It's been since the pandemic.
Yeah, I finished it before the pandemic started.
Before lockdown, yeah.
Before lockdown. But I never got around to blocking it. So that was soaking while I was filming. And then I chucked it in the washing machine, which was now vacant of clean laundry, because that is my favorite way to get as much water as possible out of my soaked item. Like for blocking, you want to soak all the fibers as thoroughly as you can with water, but then it doesn't have to be sopping wet to pin it out.
You want it you want it damp, but as
dry as possible.
As less water.
Yeah.
So you used to wring it out in a towel.
I would like
stomp on
squeeze it and then lay it on a towel and roll it up and
yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just chuck it in the spin cycle because the spin cycle will spin water out you didn't even know existed.
Some people use like a hand cranked salad spinner, which I remember from being a kid, right?
It just dries faster. It's easier to pull out, like it's wet.
And the first
it dries
time,
faster.
And so Liz does this all the time. And the first time I tried it, it was my COVID cardigan, my Carbeth cardigan, COVID cardigan, my pandemic cardigan. And I was terrified that I was going to like felt it or something. It was fine. I've done it for the dragon for my niece's sweater. I've done it for the dragon that we have over there now that I showed last episode. It's my favorite go-to now because it's just easy. So I threw that in the washer, started my YouTube video uploading, distracted by too many people on the plaza. I digress. And then I realized I had all these errands to do in town. So I texted Liz, I'm like, do you think my Papillon will be okay if it just sits in the washer? Spun already for like 2 hours. And she said, yeah. I said, thank you for telling me what I wanted to hear.
My job.
And I got in the car and I came in here to the shop to grab a few things and to write some checks. And I went to the bank and I went to the post office. And I drove out to Arden because I had a check waiting for sales from these lovely t-shirts. So I had to pick that up, and I got home and I took my Papillon out of the washer and it was still damp. Yay, great. Probably as least damp as it could be because, you know, it'd been spun and it'd been sitting. And then I I filmed on time lapse me pinning it out. And honestly, I want to say Papillons take the least amount of time to block, to pin out.
Because they're simple triangles. Like get the top, pin down the middle just to have a part, and then pull. You're done.
Well, and the only thing, like some triangle shawls, like the Audition Shawl, I had to readjust. I was Zooming with a couple of friends on Sunday, pinning out my Audition Shawl. And that one took me a good like half an hour because I pinned it, and as I'm pinning, I have to readjust, and I'm pinning all of the edges. A Papillon, you pin the top, and you pin the center, like you pull the very center where you want it, and then you pin just the little pods. I'll show you on what I did in just a second. I know I'm making you all wait, and you're all like, come on.
She's making me wait too.
She hasn't seen it yet either. So you pin the center, and then you you can pin as aggressively as you want to. Like
you could pin the whole thing, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I just pin where the pods are. They're just to accent little spots. Like we have the Fall River shawl, which is a crochet shawl. That one takes like hours to pin out, at least for me, because that one has these little picot shells all along the edge, and you've got to pull every single little one and position it just right, and then fudge it, and then it depends on like what you usually say where your care bar is, or I don't care bar is.
I pin the top, stretch it as tight as I can, pin down the middle mostly, and then just start. I generally start from the middle of a wing and just get it all evened out, and then by that point,
I'll do a wing, and then I'll do the other wing and go, well, this wing sucks now. And I did that on the Papillon, but it literally, like, the time-lapse video is 40 seconds.
Wow.
Because the actual time it took was maybe 10 minutes. And it's because I had to reposition a little bit. I actually realized I didn't sew any of my ends in, which only meant there was one weird gap in the middle where I ran out of black and had to change black in the middle of a row, but I just yanked on that. It doesn't even show up. The time-lapse, like, takes so few chunks of it. I did things during the time-lapse video of, like, tugging on those ends. And at the end, I was like, look, it's done. But I didn't freeze for long enough, so that didn't show up in the time-lapse. That's my first time doing a time-lapse. The electrician just tripped on something. He's fine.
As long as he didn't electrocute.
No, it's a decorative something out there. Anyway, that he's looking at and blaming
we really
vigorously.
need to put that clothes rack up over there.
I know, it's so distraction. I'm looking straight out, and it's like, anyway. But it's gotten a whole bunch of views now because one of our friends put it on the Butterfly Knit Along group. But it's like it's very easy to block a Papillon. You just need a lot of space.
And depending on what size.
Yeah, you don't have to. I will say that my Papillon, it really helped it sing. Like for some of them, Liz's sing on their own, and I think part of that is their size. Like the weight of them and the comfiness of them, it has its own shape and its own life. Like it takes a better shape when it's bigger because it can pull and readjust itself just by wearing it. When it's done with the fingering weight yarn on size 4, hey Liz, I'm just trying to drop something off. For anyone watching, we are here from 10 to 5. It is currently 9:40. And then I'm going to cut to right here. This is so I know where to edit to. Okay. Maybe I'll keep my hand waving in. I find for the Papillon as written, for fingering weight on a size 4 needle, especially with the garter, because it's a tighter stitch, it can bunch up. And I will say, so sometimes blocking it can help it take its shape that it should have. But it's not, a lot of things it's not necessary to block. You just will end up with a different shape or a different looking piece. And, I thought my Papillon was really pretty before I blocked it, but everything was a little squishier. And I will say when I blocked it out, I went, wow, look, some of the short row sections are really stretched now. Like what we call aggressive blocking will definitely stretch some stitches really wide. It might regulate them so they're more even, but they will be more open. That's part of, if you aggressively block something, which means stretching it, so that it comes to life.
That's kind of what happens, like right here along, you know,
that's
the
exactly
edges.
where it's right along the edges that create the edge of the bubble.
Yeah, I get bigger edges, but I'm not ever blocking it because I'm doing it on a size 9 needle. So they're already kind of...
And they're a little irregular, but you know, when it's that open, it's okay. I see on the butterfly knit along page all the time, people going, oh my gosh, my short rows look weird. Or this looks gappy, or this...
Short rows always look weird.
They always look weird. They're always... I mean, you might find German short rows are a little cleaner than wrap and turns or things, but it's not going to look perfect. I mean, and that's one of the things I really say about knitting in general. It's not going to be perfect. And if it was going to be perfect, I mean, why aren't we all just getting the machine made stuff in the store?
Well,
you know?
If you look at machine knit stuff, inevitably there's an error anyway, because a machine cannot perfectly do that.
There are so many different cultures and religions that talk about how only God or higher beings or something else can make something perfect, and humans can't. And it's kind of embracing that.
Oh, you know? I had a counselor with my sewing ask me, can a machine sew that those corners perfectly, like on a quilt or whatever? And I was like, no, because I've seen store-bought bedspreads that are patched and their corners don't match. And I was like, no. And she goes, humans are nowhere close to machines, so what makes you better than... Yeah, and sometimes we can take more time with it, which might lead to better results. But I mean, that's part of a handmade item, is it's not going to be perfect. It's like things I make, my cables are not perfect. There's gappiness in them, and I am just going to let that go, personally. And generally, it's only you that's going to notice. Yeah. Like, most people are like, oh my gosh, did you make that? Because, And the papillons that people are posting, the butterfly shawls people are posting on the butterfly knit along, they're like, oh my gosh, this looks so weird. I don't like it. Everyone, including Marin, who designed the shawl, will say, oh my God, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's just gorgeous. Like, wonderful. It's yours. That's the really cool thing about it. So anyway, I don't think I actually finished my day. I got sidetracked. She got home. I pinned out the shawl. I was complaining to Liz about how tired I was. I didn't almost fall asleep on the drive home, but it was like painfully tired drive home. And then I tried to get the energy to finish my newsletter, and that took till like 9:30. Like, I took a break for dinner, you know, but it was a full day. And usually the one thing I would do on Mondays during non-pandemic times, even if they were busy, I would take a nap. I did not get a nap yesterday. So far, I'm okay. You guys are getting my morning self. Good job. There will be coffee break this afternoon. There will be. There will be caffeine at lunch. If y'all want to see what I look like after filming and a full day, come to Knit Night tonight. I have new lights in my bedroom that are like daylight light bulbs, because my light bulb started dying. It's already dark enough. So now it's like the sun is shining in my bedroom. So y'all get to see the full bags under my eyes, tired me. Come check it out. So it's our shop phone number. Do you want me to go right back? No. We're trying to stick to our rules that we don't answer the phone before 10. And that means it's going to waste filming time, but we will probably, here's the deal. If it gets to the message, because we had someone call twice. I think I now know who called twice this morning and didn't let it go through. If there's a message, we'll edit it out. But yeah, they didn't let it go through to the message because they realized it's not 10 yet. Or they might think, we have, again, normal life, we might have answered the phone because we were here before 10. Now we're trying to film. Yeah, now we have other things to do, and we will help people till our feet fall off between 10 and 5. But in order to retain some level of sanity, we don't answer the phone until 10 o'clock. So they could have left a message and we would not have included that in our video because that's personal. So, all right, I'm gonna do some lead up to this. Well, you've done a lot of lead up to that. No, I was just gonna show my audition shawl off first. Show your audition shawl. I'm gonna stop talking about not showing stuff, but
But see, this guy would be like, people would stop watching and wouldn't get to see this guy. And we have kits for this guy. Yet again, I have not sewn my ends in, so just pardon me. You know, I could have last night, and I was like, no.
Oh my gosh, this feels fantastic.
Look how huge this is once I blocked it. You guys didn't get to see this pre-blocked, but it definitely grew with blocking. What blocking, so this is the audition shawl. It started over where Liz is holding it, and it gets bigger, and as it gets bigger, you get to try out different stitches. And blocking is what made this section. If you go back and look at earlier videos, you'll see
it looks all squished up together.
Yeah, it looks all squishy. And this, again, I had to keep pulling it and rearranging it. This took all of my blocking pads to block, as did the next one I'm about to show you. It opens lacework up to do blocking. It opens this. The edging, whoa, the cast off on this, it looks a little bit ruffled. It was like a picot cast off. It took like an hour to cast off this edge over here.
She hasn't done the mock version of the Papillon
No,
yet,
which will take me like a day. But I could have pulled all the little picots, and I was like, insert expletive here. No. So so this is my audition shawl, and we have all these different combos online of Zoe yarn that you can use for your audition shawl.
It feels so awesome.
That's another thing blocking and washing can do. This is a yarn that is a cotton linen blend, and it might feel a little rough while you're knitting with it. Like not rough, but not squishy soft. But it's wonderful once you wash it, and it is lightweight. It is like the perfect, even though it's huge, right? It's absolutely huge, but it's not going to be overwhelmingly hot on a cold, on like a breezy summer night. And yeah, I'm going to tie all these in later.
And the more you kind of beat up linen, the softer it gets. So like,
we have all the colors in front of us here that we were taking photos of for our kids.
You wash it again, you could throw it in a dryer with some dryer balls and beat the crap out of it.
That reminds me, my sister's mother-in-law, follow that with me, posted on Facebook. She watched my video of me pinning out my shawl, my butterfly shawl. And she's like, you have to do that every time you wash it? And the easy answer is no. If you wanted to, you could. But the theory of blocking, I think I've said it before, is the first time you wash it. This is as far as I got through my knitting masters, was to research this, blocking. The first time you wash it, you have a chance to really shape how it will turn out in the future. And it's not that it's always going to look like this as I wear it. As I wear it like this, some things may crumple, but a lot of the lace work is settling into the way it's going to be because of the blocking. So I might lay it out to dry after in future washings, but I'm not necessarily going to do the whole pinning crap. So necessary evils, right? So,
no, and I'm betting because it's cotton and linen, it would soften the linen to go through, like just not a high temp, but a low temp with some dryer balls, beating it into softness.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways to wear this. I'm not going to arrange it too much right now. Shop colors, yay, may not really go with the mint shirt, but who cares? And I'm realizing there's things I want to point out that Liz has on or is working on, but I've talked about this so much, I need to show it to you.
You have to show it.
So this is the Papillon where I was like, I think if I use the Cascade Heritage Wave, it will, as I unfold it, it will look like a monarch butterfly. And I had some sparkly white left over, so I used it for the bottom pods, which are the only things I pulled along the edges to shape. So, and it grew quite a bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Again, aggressive blocking. Aggressive blocking will make it grow. It might be bigger than the first Papillon I did because of blocking. It is. But I really did. Yeah, we can do that. I really did. I wanted to see how much I could make it sing, which means it's a little see-through. Like you can see my hand behind it.
But it's still tight enough that if you wore it around the back, it's gorgeous.
Because we might want this. Hang on, I'm going to come forward to where you are. This might be our thumbnail today, right?
Rebecca's.
My very color.
Yeah, it's see-through because you can see the bookshelves, but it's not as see-through as like mine.
Yeah. So how amazing is that? I think it grew at least, again, half as big as it was.
Yeah.
So this I can actually wrap myself up in, which is really fun. And it's because I really, again, aggressively blocked it. But can you see the shape of those pods? They kind of go boop, boop, boop. That's it though. I've seen people who really pull those pods to points. And that's cool. But I just wanted some gentle shaping on this because then the rest of it kind of settles in where it needs to go. So now that you've seen Rumble's one, while we talk about all the cool things Liz has done this weekend, as in, look, Liz, it looks like you're wearing a new dress.
I am, which I finished this morning because I was yet Monday has become mask day again. So
Please instantly.
I was working on that. This is the first time I've picked this one up. My dark side. Daydream.
When did you? I'm gonna totally interrupt though. When did you finish this dress?
This morning.
Yeah. She might have said, but I wasn't.
Shoulder straps. Anyway, so that was this morning, but Saturday, I was playing around with in between laundry and life. I was trying to finish 2 of my Papillons to the end of section 1, and I got there, and Saturday I was looking at them going, I'm not sure I like just the 2 colors that I have for them. So this one is the blues and the cotton in the 2 different color.
Yeah, which blues. She wasn't going to reverse colors on. She was just going to boom.
Yeah, just all. And then I was like, ooh, in the pops of color, I should add something. So I added red. So it'll be red at the end of section 1, red at the end of section 2, and then the pods are going to be red. I was like,
which are these thingies?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to just have those 3 pops of red and be awesome. And so I finished that to the end of section 1. And then I also finished my Halloween one to the end of section 1. And it got a pop of color too. It got the green llama lace.
Yeah. Which it's hard to get it to show up on camera, but it looks really cool.
I have it wound, which is easier to see. So the purple is my contrast, and it looks black in the picture.
It's a fun kind of like, it's kind of like this green that they've discontinued from Zoe, which, you know, I'm a little annoyed by. But it's got more of a yellow quality to it. It's like a neon yellow green. Yeah. It's that Grello, right? Yeah. But it's not like in your face Grello. It's nice.
Yeah. So I just threw that in as a pop in my Halloween, because actually I have a neon green polka dot skirt to go underneath my purple dress. Anyway.
Not that she thinks about planning this at all.
Well, I've had the fabric for a couple of years now, because I was like, ooh, that'll be my Halloween dress this year. And then stuff happened and I didn't. And so, yeah.
Did anyone also notice Liz has really cool glasses that match her? Sorry, I have a twig stuck in my.
Oh no,
it's just.
Ooh.
I hope it's a twig.
Death twig.
No, there was a big cricket-looking thing in our back room that was dead, and that might be a leg from it. But anyway, not to gross Liz out and you all out at home.
I'm not grossed out by crickets.
There are other things. It was big. And I think the cat defended the Papillon. Yeah. The cat defended my Papillon from it. And then I had to make Brian throw it out. Anyway. But yeah, she's wearing lovely glasses that go with her dress. I think that's
I have 3 colors of these. I have a red pair, a blue pair, and a black pair. So I switched them out.
Everything. Okay, so I'm wearing this front waist, and I'm noticing it kind of accents the big girls I have. You know, but I tend to wear my Papillons.
You tend to wear them like that.
I tend to wear shawls as scarves. And this one's so big, it's kind of hard to do that. Like, how you should wear it, and it's beautiful, is like that, right?
Yeah.
How pretty is that? I could be a monarch butterfly for Halloween. Or just every day of the year. I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Yeah. So I might actually wear it like this today. I should weave the ends in. Tomorrow's the day it's going to get to 90 degrees in the mountains here. So, and here's the thing I'll say is this is fingering weight, but it's merino. It feels pretty good right now. This one feels a little heavier because it is, This one is DK weight. It's like a light DK, but the pattern's written for DK. It feels a little heavier, but it will breathe differently because it's cotton. Now, that doesn't mean cotton actually breathes, but it won't hit the warmth factor that a wool will. I mean, when you're running, you're supposed to wear wool stuff because it will wick moisture away and stuff like that. Linen, cotton won't.
Linen will wick more than anything. Linen will hold 7 times its body weight in water. So linen wicks better than merino, but linen isn't as soft as merino. So that's why you don't get linen underwear. You get merino underwear, linen, yeah.
So there's give and take. But for people who don't want to be working with fingering weight, a DK weight something like this is wonderful. It's a different option. Before we go, I also wanted to show off the couple other things I'm working on because, I finished stuff, so why not start more stuff? First, I'll go with one that I think I showed y'all. I haven't made a lot of progress on this. That's when I left it here and came and got it yesterday. So I've made a little bit of progress, but this is for easy projects, for people looking for easy projects. This is how my Pearl Soho garter triangle wrap is coming in the Nishiki. You see how those stripes are getting thinner and thinner and maybe more intermingled? I'm still not even done with my first skein. I'm getting there. I'm almost there. I think I'm gonna try making it out of 2 skeins and see how big it gets, because then it might get to where it can wrap around like this. And honestly, something with very little shape like this, that is garter, knitting every row, nice and squishy, and it is squishy and soft. This is a cotton, by the way, yay for summer. But DK, so yay for not being itty bitty and taking forever. I'm probably not gonna block this.
I don't. You could.
I could,
but you're gonna lose some of the squishy.
Yeah, like this is thinner than it was before I blocked it. It lost some of the squishy, but I wanted the shape, and I wanted to accent the pattern. This pattern is going to be the same whether I block it or not. It's going to be horizontal stripes whether I block it or not. So I'm not trying to help the pattern out to be vibrant. I'm not, if anything, I'll lose some of the squishy by blocking it. So, if you want an easy project that you don't have to worry about this thing called blocking, the triangle garter wrap is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it's a free pattern.
It's a free pattern, and it can be done out of any yarn on any set of needles. Mm-hmm. So we had somebody come in to buy and bought some Cumulus cotton for it. Now it's going to take more yarn, but
she could do it on bigger needles.
Yeah.
And it's even soft. That's like the softest cotton we have in the shop. It's gonna be a little heavier, and warmer, but it's gonna be so soft.
If you were to do the concha, where it's the cotton and the merino, and you were to do it on a bigger needle, that's like 2 balls would probably get you quite.
And the concha is actually what I'm doing my current Papillon in, that I have not done anything on, so I'm not going to show it to you because it looks the same as if the last time it made an appearance in the sideshow, and I don't even know when that was. So again, if I was going to wear this and didn't want to have it in my way, I would probably put a little shawl pin right here today and wear it around. And I might, especially while I'm inside. It's going to be hot out there. It's going to be nice and cool in here. Last thing I have to show off is I said I rewarded myself by finishing a shawl and blocking 2. So I'm starting one of my sweaters. And I put this in my newsletter.
But for those that don't get the newsletter, what shawl or what sweater did you start?
Which one did I pick? I went back to one I talked about forever ago, but I think I re-talked about it on one of the more recent ones of like, it is the Brighton from a new yarn to us by Jody Long, which is called Coastline. And Coastline is a yarn. My tag already fell off of the second skein. I haven't started. It is a very tubular yarn. It actually has like an outer coating of color, and all of them have like an inner tube of white. But the combo of yarn, it's actually cotton, synthetic, linen, and how am I blanking?
You want me to go get a ball?
It's closer to me. I'll go get it. But what I want to say is that in the ball, it feels a little bit sturdy and kind of not squishy soft. And when I knit with it, oh my gosh, it's squishy soft. It's wonderful. I'm knitting on a size 9.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels nothing like.
It's a new yarn to us. Like just before a pandemic shut everything down, we got this yarn in. And people have been picking it up and going, it could be softer. And now that I'm knitting with it, oh my gosh, it's so soft. It is cotton, viscose, nylon, and linen. So the viscose and nylon are probably what helps some of the stretchy squishy around the tube that has the structure. And this is the neutral. I grabbed a neutral one. There are so many pretty colors. The sample in the book, this is Seafoam. I suddenly fell in love. I was showing y'all, I think last week, with the seaweed. And we have so many yummy colors. We're low on some. We're low on the Seafoam because someone's already making a sweater out of it. There is a mistake in the pattern, but they have already published what's called errata, which is not as bad as it sounds. But it's the fancy word for mistake fixes, like error, they've already published, and I agree with the publication of, there's mild short rows in this because there's seed stitch, and then there's this cool stockinette stripe that goes up the center. And the seed stitch has a slightly different gauge than the center. So there's every once in a while, you're gonna only go halfway in and back out again, and across and halfway in and back out again, because you need more rows on the sides than in the center. But one color, it is what we call a drop sleeve sweater, which means this where the sleeves come in is down here. And what's cool about that, if you haven't done many sweaters before, is the shaping is essentially, it's a box with the neck shaping. So you gotta do neck shaping, but you don't have to do any shoulder shaping because it's a box that will just fall over your shoulder. And then the sleeves will actually be kind of short because they're gonna start further down, and you won't have as much to do for the sleeves. Usually when I get to the sleeve part of a sweater,
losing the will to live. Because
the sleeves take almost as long as the body. But the body, since this body is just going, that's why it looks so wide right now. Is because it needs to be, it's gonna be as wide at the top as at the bottom, but it needs to have space to go around me. So this is actually perfect sizing, I think, from side to side. It's gonna be loose and open. I wanna say, when people talk about positive ease, they're talking about how much extra room between your bust size and the size of the sweater.
And it has a lot of
it has like 20 inches of positive ease or something like that. But that's because it's straight. It's gonna have room for everything, but it's gonna hopefully, again, because I'm doing it on a 9, it's a worsted weight on a 9, it's gonna drape. So it's gonna feel nice. And so y'all should just stay tuned to see how this turns out. I did cast this on Sunday, by the way. We'll see how it goes.
You're really good to pay attention to her.
I think I'm done talking about all the crazy stuff I'm doing. We talked about your dress and the dark side and the pops and we've talked about a lot of her stuff too.
But
it's show off day.
So I have gotten further on my sleeves. Like this is armpit.
Losing the will to live, right?
To the sleeves. And I am forcing myself at least 2 or 3 days a week to do a couple inches just because.
I
got the skirt fabric.
It's so pretty.
And now I have to finish the sweater.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And she's doing them 2 at a time, which is fun because it might feel like it's going to take longer, but then you're done at the same time and you don't have to start another, and they come out the same size.
Yeah. Like I don't want to sit there and go, okay, how many rows did I do on this sleeve? And how many rows? And because knowing me, it would look like my sleeves were.
You've done that before.
I know.
If you count instead of measuring and count wrong or measure wrong, it can be a nightmare.
I did long sleeved finger warmers, and one, as I was making it, I'd put it on and try it and then figure out where my decreases were, and I wrote the instructions down.
Copious notes.
Lots of notes. But when you put it on and measure is different than laying it down and measuring. So this arm comes up to my elbow and this one comes to right up here.
And then you threw a shawl over it and no one sees.
Yeah, nobody sees, but it's still annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've taken up enough of the morning. I mean, we could talk all day.
Yeah, it's post 10.
It's post 10. And so now if the phone rings, we need to answer it. So we're going to say goodbye. We love you and we miss you. If you haven't already, please subscribe.
Like us.
At least give us a thumbs up and at least share it with one friend that you think might also like us too.
Stay tuned for more Adventures of Liz and Rebecca on Thursday.
Yeah.
And the VSC is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea what we'll be showing off tomorrow, but we'll be showing something off tomorrow.
Yummy, yummy, yummies.
If it comes in, we have yarn that might come in today. Might.
That means we might not have the yarn to show tomorrow.
Yeah. If it doesn't come in, so I'm not even going to tell you what it is. Although if you pay attention to old episodes, you might be able to deduce. But I won't tell you just in case because it might not come in.
Let's just say there's another
Papillon. Which means the yarn we show off, you might not be able to get because she might get most of it.
We won't show off the one that I'm getting.
But what if it's pretty, Liz?
Oh, it's going to be pretty.
I'll just have to order more. We love you. Stay safe. Bye. I'm going to show off the back of my Papillon again. Look.
You're stuck.
You're Project down. Project down. It wasn't that bad.